All right. Thank y'all for coming in. All right. Here, I'm going to cut it up a little bit. So it just continues to play, right?
Trying to get it down.
All right, y'all. Trying to get y'all get a little bit of my son's EP. All right, so I'll give it just a minute while others of you come in. All right. I know it's kind of earlier than what I normally come in, but we got right on time. It is what about 7:25? Anyway,
It should repeat.
okay. So it should play all the way through. Okay. All right. I'll wait for y'all to come in. Just get right here. All right, so y'all figured out what was wrong with my serger. It was the bottom blade. Like I changed the top blade out, but it was the bottom blade that was still dull. So I just changed that out, and now it's working fine. With my all right. Give a few minutes while y'all come in. So I think that's yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait to finish my dress. It's exciting because it's coming along and it's looking great. Just have a few things that I need to finish up on it. All right. All right. This battery's at 0%, but yet it came on. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start sewing. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is while I'm waiting on you all to come in, I'm gonna go ahead and serge this up since now I have my serger running like it should. getting stuck. It hasn't been doing that before. I started working on stress. I'm not sure why it's jamming like that. Gotta get somebody to look at it.
Why are women everywhere? The news.
That's gonna
I got one visit that and sex and removal.
Low-dose IVX is a tremendous breakthrough to combine both liposuction and skin resection safely to be able to custom tailor our treatment for the patient.
I got flat, tight tummies, fast, taste, and
like it's getting caught in there. So I don't know what that's all about. So that's not making me have clean seams. All right. Hello, hello, hello. I see one person watching.
I went to Sonobello
Yeah, I don't like
almost 5
that.
months ago. Before my procedure, I wore a size 11, and now I am a size 7. It feels good to.
Thought I was gonna be able to do this without having to trim the seams, but
Mommy belly is gone.
all right. Well, that didn't fix the problem like I thought. It worked for a little bit,
By Sonobello.
so I'm just gonna go ahead and trim this because I don't want to waste time going through that. So, all right. If you can comment, please do. Somebody had a problem commenting earlier. I know we had this conversation in the last video about cutting in the air. Can't help it, y'all. If you're just watching, I am working on my Make 924 first make. This is my first block to check off, but I have one more dress before I can completely check the box off. Hang on one second. I need to try to find a cord so I can. Alright, I don't know what I did with my cord for my iPad, my notebook. Okay. The show must go on. Now my thread down. Yeah. Maybe this is a sign that I'm not supposed to be doing this. I need to keep myself off of social media. Maybe that's what it is. My thread just can't go down. I'm trying to thread that hated part of the serger. Gets me every time. And you can't thread it just right.
GMC Sierra.
Hate regretting
It's the
surgery.
truck. Or get $3,500 purchase cash on select GMC Sierra models. Or get a total of $6,000 purchase allowance when you trade in an eligible vehicle.
All right. Let's try this one more time. Alright, so that part is done. Okay, so I gotta do the bottom. Alright. Alright, let me go put this hem in place. You know what? I shouldn't have serged it because I need to measure the hem first. I need to measure out where my hem should be. So what I do is go ahead and I think what I'm gonna do is just fold this under like this instead of serging it. Give it a clean finish. So I'm gonna turn it under maybe about, it's about 3/8 of an inch, and then turn it under again. So that's what I'll do. Keep going with that 3/8 of an inch and just turn it under. Why is that? Okay, y'all.
What does the world hold? What if every moment was a milestone?
Where's my thread?
How do we keep a memory?
Those who never stop learning. You guys remember Career Day last year? Elaine Hartzell came as a Hershey's taste tester. Well, I told Hershey Hershey's made the dream come true. It's just really been exciting.
Oh my God, it's not even. Yo, it's not even stitching. Hey, Lakia. Thank you for the hearts. I think that's what it was. My thread was running out. It wasn't even stitching, y'all. You remember that meme? I just posted a meme about this. You get all the way through and there's no thread in the bottom. All right, so let me rethread a little bit. How are you, Lakia? Okay. Supposed to be a problem. No, I got thread on here, so what's the problem? That stuff working against me. Alright. What I'm gonna do is take this little piece out, clean it out. Then there's a piece of thread caught in here. Alright, so every now and then you might want to clean out your bobbin tension. That can cause some problem. If y'all hear that music in the background, that's my son, my youngest son, Armand Hudson, his EP, The Feel Good Tape. You can find it on YouTube. Alright, so let's get that down in there. Alright, let's see if it's going to work now. Swim to the surface. Everything on the surface. The storm I never performed. Jesus made me in his image. To be All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You can't get your machine to sew right? Oh, what's happening to it? What's the problem? My serger's been giving me some issues. I'm gonna get rid of it if it keep on. All right, that's much better. I think I had some thread caught up in there. Oh yeah, that's much better. Much, much, much better. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that. Hey, Tawanda. No, you're not late, man. You're not late. I've been having some technical difficulty. It won't sew knits. Um, could it be a thread? I found out with this one, Lakia, it was my thread. Like this machine has gotten real finicky in its old age. The zigzag won't sew. Oh, what about the stretch stitch? Will that work? If the zigzag don't work, just do the stretch stitch. Okay, yeah, that did the trick. Whew. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so who's the third person in? I see 3 people. Thank you for the likes. All right, so yeah, that did it. Look at there. All right, so that's one sleeve down, y'all. One sleeve down, one to go. And I'm gonna press the bottom hand. Then I have the button to do. I'm still trying to decide what I'm gonna do about the collar. I thought about undoing it and just sewing the collar up into the sewing the seam into the collar, but I don't want that to be too bulky. So I might just trim it down and just stitch it. I thought about covering it, doing a not a Hong Kong finish, but just doing a bias cover. So I don't know. You say you changed everything? Hmm. When's the last time you had it serviced? That's not the sleeve. That's the. All right. So I always have to remember which side I'm going. Turning the sleeve. Oh, that one's done. Okay, this one. Okay. I still have a whole side that I didn't serge. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Well, look at there. Y'all, I found my Kai scissors too, Tawanda. You serviced them not too long ago? Okay. Yeah. When I found my Kai scissors. But I think they need to be serviced too. They sound crunchy. Hands in the air, if you're feeling blessed. Hands in the air. Yeah, they need to be serviced. They feeling a little crunchy. Am I the only one that sews with a lot of gadgets and junk around the sewing machine? Does anybody sew with a clean sewing machine? Cutting in the air again, y'all. Just somehow sometimes easier that way. Somebody asked what kind of fabric I like sewing with. I think I like sewing with stable or woven fabrics better. Knit fabrics are too jiggly for me. I like to be able to control my fabric. I love, formal fabrics and stuff, but my least favorite fabric is slippery fabric, like chiffons and silky fabrics, because they just slide all over the place. And like this knit just curls and it has a mind of its own sometimes. Oh, hey Lynette, how art thou? You say your table is so full. Okay, so you found it. I did. Um, your table stay full too. Yeah, it's neat, but well, you see mine right here. I mean, I've got everything on here, y'all. As while I was looking for something else, this is when I found my Kai scissors. I had them in this tray right here that's on a cart right next to my sewing machine. So in that cart, I don't know if you remember Paracrafter days. Somebody gave me this ring, and I can't remember who it was. Gave me stitched this up for me. Said So Much Talent Group on one side, Paracrafters on the other. And then my sister for Christmas, she gave me several neat things. First of all, I didn't know what this was, y'all. I was like, what in the world? But she explained to me it's a keychain, but she explained to me it's like a for safety, for your protection. So like I keep this with me. I don't know, I might hurt myself with that. I know that's not sewing related. And then this one, I still don't know how it works, but she said like when you trying to put your chains on your wrist or whatnot, you use this some kind of way to help clasp it. I still have to figure that one out. And then she gave me this. I'm getting down to the sewing part stuff. This is a key right here, but then there's a knife in there. So I guess it's also a weapon. So I guess these are things that for your safety, like if you're out and about, I guess all of these I could put on my keychain. And if I'm in danger, I have me some weapons. But these are the sewing things I thought were really neat. She's got me some help attach bracelets. Yeah, I got to figure out how to do it. She got me these cute little earrings. Let me got those. And then lastly, this is just a little break, mental break, y'all. So these are really pretty. Everybody can use some embroidery scissors. Those trimming scissors, little duckbill scissors. Aren't those cute? Aren't those pretty? Now, are they supposed to? Oh. If I take that little plastic thing off, they'll open. Are they not the cutest? Do you remember Ronnie gave me a pair of snips that came in this little thing right here? I still have these, but I put them in a box somewhere. Took them to a wedding with me one time. But aren't those pretty? Yeah. You always wanted a pair of these. She got these for me for Christmas. I don't know. But they look like a little duck bill. So yeah, those are fun. But anyway, this is the kind of stuff that I have, and then I can't ever find nothing. All right. Labels, wax, chalk. Oh, I found my chalk too. I found my wax. So I don't have no need to not use that when I'm threading something. All right, so I'll put that aside. I've talked enough about that. So let me go ahead and try to serve this up. my surge's been acting up, and I'm really not trying to. Let's see. I thought I fixed it because I changed the lower blade, but for some reason it keeps feeding back. Maybe if I keep blowing it.
You'll make moments like this. Careful.
Keep blowing the debris from getting caught up in there. Won't do it. I don't
A
know.
little bit of teamwork helps too. Moments like this, special. Your heart.
Maybe with the needle, the blade was dull when I bought it because I just got it. I haven't used it. Just changed the blade.
Christian Bale, it's a dark night. I just been still in the spotlight. You see my name in the skylight. I'm painting pictures. Thinking like I'm Rambo. Perfecting my craft like it's Hobby Lobby. King of the game. Searching all over the place. I found my lane. God bless me.
Cut that enough
So I
right
can
there.
show you power he put in my veins. This just a prelude. When the EP comes soon, you'll see just how far
I know it seems crazy that I'm cutting this on the surgery, but my blade is not acting like it should. Might just be time for a new surgery. Maybe if I threaten it that I'm gonna get a new one, maybe it'll act right. Okay, well, I got through that. I survived that. Okay. All right, y'all. So I'm gonna go ahead and press. This up. Actually, I'm not gonna press it up. I'm gonna mark it. I'm gonna go ahead and stitch the other sleeve. That's what I'm gonna do. So once I stitch the sleeve, then I can add the button on the inside. I think I'm gonna use this elastic to cover the button. There's usually elastic that's a little bit thinner than this, but I'm gonna go ahead and use this elastic. I may actually stitch this in half and use it. I don't know, but I'll use that instead of adding a buttonhole. I'll use that as my loop to capture my button. Yeah, this is my new TNT pattern. I can see me making several of these, and I've got the fabric to do it. You say what a difference the belt placement? Yeah. Did you see me try it on earlier? Did you see it in the video I did this morning? But I feel like it's a little big, y'all. And I don't even have a body shape or anything. but it may be just I like my stuff a little bit fitted, so I don't know. I could always go in and take in the sides. All right, so I love the way that stitches.
Hospitality begins with you.
All right,
It's the way you open up your home.
so now
Serena
the belt is on this side.
in good company.
Okay. So what? Oh wait, I still got another piece over here too. Wait a minute, I still have. Wait a minute. I missed that. Okay. So y'all, the next time I do this, I'll add a facing probably to give it a little bit more professionalism to it. This is a really quick version of the now famous remake of the Diane von Furstenberg pattern. Same kind of setup, except for I use more of a I use more of the straighter version. Most folks that are sewing it are using the A-line version. Um, but I used a straighter version. But it's basically the same concept. Y'all, I'm seriously second guessing adding the cuffs on it because I saw Anita Morris's dress. She did the Vogue version, the Diane von Furstenberg pattern, and she did the cuffs, and her cuffs stood out. They're a little pointed, and has the button. She did the two buttons, one on each side, and I like that version. Um, who's Speedy? You did see it? Okay. Good. Thank you for watching. Who's Speedy? You saw it was a little big? Yeah. Okay, good. So you think I should do the cuff too? Because I was thinking about not doing the cuff because I felt like it was gonna get lost in there. But when I saw her do hers, her cuff stood out from the blouse with the two buttons. She had nice size buttons on hers. So I was like, well, maybe that looks pretty good. And hers was a print. So it just kind of made me see it a different way. So I still have fabric. I believe I still have the fabric to make the cuffs. And if I do, I will. You say I am? This machine is fast to wonder. And so when I'm making bridal gowns and, I do a lot of straight stitching. That was the reason why I even bought this machine. This machine is my youngest son is 24. 24. Yeah, no, he's soon to be 25 next week. And so this machine is probably, he was about 2 years old when I got it. So this machine is probably about 23 years old. But I bought it because I was doing a lot of garments, straight stitching, bridal wear. And that's just straight stitching. I no fancy stitches or nothing. So I needed something where I could move. And so I remember from Sunday night, you weren't sure about the cut. Right, right. Oh, you say so as the operator? Okay. Well, thank you, Tawanda. Yeah, I gotta be fast. But so here, let's just give it one more. So this is the thing, y'all. I'm just kind of, I'm not sure what I want to do here. So your opinion. You see how, and I know for sure I'm going to trim this up a little bit. I probably narrow it down. You know what? I may just narrow it down to here. I may just narrow it down here and just understitch it. And then the next time I will actually treat this differently. I would actually sew the seam into the collar. But I think for now, I'm just going to serge this down to here and just top stitch it and call it a night. Just be done with it. Because what I was thinking about doing was going ahead and undoing this and then pushing the collar up into the seam and just making it clean. It's not annoyance because it's very comfortable. I think for me, because I know how I like my stuff, like if you open it up on the inside, I want it to look professional on the inside. And so the way this pattern is, this pattern doesn't do a lot of the technical stuff. It's a very simple pattern, which is nothing's wrong with top stitching it, but I know me, I like my stuff. I like the little designer techniques. And so the way a collar is normally done, it's sewn on the inside, the seams are stuffed in, you don't see it. Or I could actually add a little facing on it. But I think for now, because I'm thinking too hard about it, it's not that, it ain't that serious, really. I think I'm just gonna go in and serge this, just trim it, serge it, and not even try to do anything extra, and just stitch it down. That's what I'm gonna do. So that I can do in just a minute, and then I've got my label to sew in it. So now the sleeves are done. Um, I'm gonna go in. Now I'm thinking, should I put my button on before let me do this, you know, because I really do need to know if I need to stitch it down some more, because if I do, I need to do that before I actually add that button in there. Or maybe I can just go down the back and take in the back a little bit to take up some of that space. That's what I'll do. I'm going to go ahead and go in and add the button. So I'm going to add the loop here. And this is going to go over the button that I'm going to place on the inside here. Okay. So got to decide. I'm just going to get a smaller button. Just going to get got my little jar buttons. All right, and I don't need much of this elastic. So that ought to work. No. Okay. So I'm going to cross that over like this. I don't know if y'all can see that. So cross that over like that, so it'll make it easier to cross over that button. And I want it to be a little snug, so when it goes up under that button, it'll hold secure up under there and won't easily come out. So I think that'll be good right there. Probably do it a little bit more. All right, so I'm gonna stitch over this. Stitch it there, then I'll stitch it close to the edge. So be sure that it won't come undone. Now the pattern doesn't call for this, but it probably calls for a hook in there or something. I don't know. It might even call for a buttonhole right there. But this is my easy way of doing it.
variety, real brew.
Okay. So this is what it looks like. Okay. Yeah, it does have a lot of stretch. It's an elastic. It is. It's a quarter of an inch elastic. Yeah. You probably could use, if I had an eighth of an inch elastic, I would have used that, but this is a quarter of an inch. I actually had like the elastic cording, but I just wanted to make sure that this was gonna, it wasn't gonna break. Just double check. Guess what? I found that too. Yeah, it's about a quarter of an inch elastic. So I prefer the elastic over the buttonhole hook and eye. Right, especially for inside here. That was my next question. What did the pattern call for? Yeah, the pattern, let's see. So you know the pattern, yeah, I might have did something that I might have did something extra. Hang on, let me look at this because it looks like there's some pleating in this pattern. Well, if there is, I didn't do it. If it is, I'm not going back to do it. Let me look at the pattern piece. Okay, so maybe that was another version. Maybe that was version. Oh, okay. So no, I did it right. That was version C and D that has like the ruching on the side. So it looks like they don't do anything. It looks like on here what they've done. Let me see. They got two different versions. Let me see how they finished off B. So what it looks like is that they've sewn all the seams together like it's like a faux wrap is what it looked like. No, that's the A and B. Da. Yeah, I can't see how they finished off B. Anyway, it looks like that they finished off. This is how it looks in the pattern. So it did look like they sewed the belt onto the side right there, but it looks like they sewed this little piece into the side seam, and so it looks like a faux wrap. I don't know. That part is confusing. Maybe if I read the pattern, it'll make sense, but I didn't. But the way I've done it, it makes sense to me because I've done it this way several times. So anyway, I prefer the elastic. Okay, it's okay to deviate. Right, it is okay to deviate. I do a lot of deviating. Y'all know that. Y'all know I don't stick to the pattern for nothing. Right, you pull it over your head. Excuse me. Yeah, if you do it that way, you have to pull it over your head. So, all right, so I got the elastic part in, and so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a piece of interfacing, and I'm gonna reinforce. This was the top of that loop, and so this is where I'm going to put a little fusible interface in there. And the reason I'm gonna do that is so the button, because there'll be a lot of stress on the button, and so I want that button to be firm right there. I don't want it to come undone. So now where did my interfacing go? I'm just going to take 2 little small pieces of interface and put one on the bottom and one on the top. Just going to fuse it real quick just to give it some little extra support. Just a little anchor. So actually I didn't need to do that. All I need to do, because the piece is so wide, I'll just do it like that.
Try new Poise overnight pads with a 75%
Just wrap that around.
worry-free sleep.
Good night, Lakia. All right, I'll be right back. All right, y'all, I did the crazy thing. I put the fusible on the wrong side. Lord. All right, y'all. So, yep, I actually did that. I folded the interface into the wrong side, so when I fused it, it stuck to the iron. I'm going to do, I'm going to treat this as an anchor, like put a little knot in between the thread. Alright, so this is going to fold back towards the button, so okay. Actually, let me knot that. I made it so thick, hard for the thread to get through. Alright. Okay. It's probably a little bigger than what the button should be, but I'm not securing it all the way flush to the fabric, because I'm going to create a little anchor underneath. I'm going to go through one more time. I want this button to come off. It's going to be a lot of stress on this button. How many of y'all use thimbles? I don't, probably should. I've got several. I had one of my coworkers used to bring thimbles to me all the time. Okay. So I just wrapped that several times. Hey, What was wrong with Delicia's car?
She ran over man.
Oh,
You know, all she don't know how to drive.
oh, you stop. That can happen to anybody.
Yeah, it happened a lot of time though.
Uh-huh. See, I got you recorded.
Costing me money.
I'm gonna show her this video back.
Show her. I already flushed her.
You fu-
That took a Valentine's Day present away. She don't know.
Oh, you still gonna take her out?
Yeah, that's one less present.
Oh Lord. My son. You can't find one to fit the fingers. Oh. Yeah, you saw my thimble collection? Yeah. I gotta find a place to put it. I don't use them. All right, so that's my button. You can see I created a little anchor. That's why I did the interfacing to secure it on that side. So now let's test it. So now, okay, see, it worked. Yeah. Oh, not small enough. Oh, okay. You got little tiny fingers. All right, so that worked pretty good, y'all. All right, so now I just need to try it on, and give me just a second. Right, ta-da. Give me just a second, and I'm going to try this on, and then I'm gonna go ahead and mark it with my chalk marker. All right, give me just a second.
Alright, I see.
Often known for relationships that'll last forever, but I ain't ready, gotta get myself together, learn the ins and outs of love, I'm not gonna break the tether, cause I ain't trying to sever, I'm trying to try out several, I want a girl that knows how to pray, how to stop the devil, give me a reason to carry on when she test my metal, so I don't step on the pedal, pluck all the pedals, do she love me now on a whole nother level, I often wonder, do she like me or is she just nice, your wonderful spirit and bright smile is appealing, that's a wonderful feeling, you flash a smile, I ask for two like I got no more clearance, and when I get it, it's like the end of the sentence, came to conclusion, misunderstood notes of your music, cause I think too much about my future, how I'm living and how I turn out, chronic thinking make my thoughts sound out. Last time, shout out A Major, J Keys, Topher, the activist artist, and all my friends, family, and loved ones who came throughout this whole project, man. I appreciate y'all. I need to write something for people so they feel good. As for me, I get back to you.
Okay, turning y'all around. All right, so this is what I'm getting ready to complain here in just a second. Because I don't know if anybody else experiences this, but I've taken the time to measure it. Y'all see me do all my fit measurements and everything according to the ease allowance that they added, right? So I did that. All this right here looks fine. But this right here, look how big this is. Like that's a lot of room. So when they say Like, I need to start going back to what the old rule of thumb was, that your patterns are usually about two sizes above retail. Like I can wear 14 and some things, 12 and some things. So then that means that would be what, 16 to 18 or 18. Look at that. That's big. I didn't lose no weight between when I cut this out. Isn't that big? Time to hear from my sponsor. He's so funny. And this, look at that. Y'all, and this happens a lot. Y'all don't laugh at my socks. I don't know if y'all can see my socks. But I'm trying to figure out. No, that's too big. Like I need to, and that somebody asked me about the V. I always end up having to pin this part anyway, or do something, clip that. Let's see. So I want to flash y'all. Okay, so I'll do that there. But right in there, look, I look like a block. I'm just gonna, it's just a matter of stitching down the sides. That's all. Yeah, it's a matter of stitching down the sides. And then my button, I've got my button way up here. I think I need to put it down here. Like the button's here and the belt right here is here. So I need to bring that button down. Yeah, I need to bring that button down to here. Let me. Okay, so see, and then I don't have, like I said, I don't have any shapewear on. So if I do shapewear, then that's gonna really suck me in. So I really need to probably bring it in about an inch, do an inch seam on each side. I mean, I don't want it skin tight, but that's kind of ridiculous. I mean, look at there. So now I don't want to do an inch here. That will probably be okay under there. But I mean, well, I don't know. Look at that. I'll probably start here and then ease on out of here because I do want to be able to I do want to be able to lift my arm up or something. But like from right in here, that's just a lot. That's a lot. So I'm going to go back in. That's probably about 2 inches right there under the arm. I don't know if it's certain patterns that do that. That's why, that's why you get into making your own patterns. So I'm going to take, that's really about 2 inches right there. Or you know what, maybe if I just, I could take the seam down the back, but if I take the seam down the back, then it's going to move these seams further towards the back. So I don't want to do that. I want to keep the seams kind of balanced. Yeah, it's about 1.5 inches, 2 inches to on the right. I cut out the size 22. Well, it's a size 18 here, and it's a 22 here. And see, I'm generally, according to my measurements, I went by the measurements. I did it just like the book just said, and went by the ease allowance and everything according to the pattern. Now, my measurements, let me just show you where we are. so I can show you what I did. Okay, and I need to find my paper. Okay, so according to this, the finished measurement on an 18 is 35. Okay, so I measure, oh no, that's a waist. Sorry, that's the waist. I was going to say that can't be right. So the finished measurement is a 41.5, and I measure a 40. So this should only be about 1.5 inches ease allowance. Should be just, it should barely be any room in there. And then the waist is 35, and my waist measured 36.5. So I did I think from the waist, I was in between a 20 and a 22. I measured out a 22. So what did I say? My waist was 36.5. The waist in the 22 is a 39. And then the hip measures 48.5. And I want to say I was 46 or something like that. So that should give me about 2 inches of ease. But this gives me about 4 inches, at least 4 inches of ease. So now I know some people like their stuff like a little loose. That's like a lot of loose. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. So anyway, all I need to do is just go in and sew it up a little bit. I am going to, so I'm not going to even try to reset the belts or anything like that. I may have to fold this in a little bit more, so it'll come in line with everything else. But then maybe I don't know. But I definitely need to take this in here. So I may just go in and fold this under maybe 1.5 inches. I don't know, to see how that works. But that's a lot. Like this goes all the way. Like I could literally, but you know what? If I did, let's see. What if I did that? Mm-mm, mm-mm. Nope, it's still big. Because now I look like I have ears. You ever seen, I call them ears when you have that, like, doing like that. So no, I need to just bring it in some, and then I need to hem it. So I'm not going to mark the hem until I address the sides. All right. Yeah, it's too loose. It's too loose. So I'm going to go in. So back to another commercial break. Be right back. Oh, sorry, y'all. I'll be right back. Okay. All right, gotta figure out what I did with my.
This is Jupiter.
I was treated in my cheeks and in my chin. All right, y'all. I'm back. All right, I am back. All right. All right, so Lynette says, would you put a snap to keep the neckline closed? Yeah. Yeah, I would definitely put a tank. I mean, put a tank. You can do a tank under it, like the little body con things, like the little tankini. Um, but I will probably now gonna have to take this. I have to take this loose. See, that button was put in there real good. That's a shame. My little cute little loop put in there good. All right, so I'm put my little button aside. Put that on my little thing right there. So what did I do with my? Oh, there it is. All right, so let's go ahead and clip this out. So now I'm gonna have to go in and modify the pattern because this is not right. I have to take about 2 inches off. About at least 1.5 inches off the sides. Alright, so I'm just gonna take the sides in first and then I'll go in. Alright, Donna. Who's Donna? I don't. Oh, hey, Donna. I didn't see Deanna. Yeah. Hey, Deanna. I didn't see you coming in. How art thou? Yeah, I didn't see you. Had to scroll back up. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I do want about 1 inch, at least 1 inch to come out here under the arm. And so I'll probably start maybe about here and go into the inch and then go, let's see, what's 1.5 inches? Because it really looked like it's about 2 inches. Yeah, we'll start with, I'll go with 1.5 inches. Actually, I need a different chalk. So something I can see. Now, while I was looking, I found my other little I found all my little thingies. And my chalk. I'm gonna use the yellow one so it's not so obvious. I love my clips too. Alright, so alright, so let's see. I'm just gonna do an inch under the arm. I'll start 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I'll start about. I don't know if anybody do that. I count up.
Have you considered Part C? Medicare Part C is sometimes known as a Medicare Advantage plan, and it's one of the best ways to help protect yourself from out-of-pocket Medicare costs. If you only have Medicare Parts A and B, there are three things.
Okay, I'll just make sure it matches. Shoot.
Call the number on your screen.
That's what I mean about the knit fabric is wiggly.
3. See what Part C plans with benefits are available to you. 1, 2, 3.
All right, so I'm gonna go into an inch and a half. Yeah, actually.
If you're losing benefits, moving.
Oh, wait a minute. That was an inch and a half. That's why it seems so wide.
1. Call the number on your screen now. 2. Give the
Okay, it was
licensed
an
insurance
inch.
agent your zip code. 3.
Seemed like
See
it was
what
wider
Part C
than that.
plans with benefits are available to you. Medicare Part C plans are available now. Plans may include benefits you are not currently receiving. Call today. You don't get a Medicare Advantage plan automatically. Call to find out if you're eligible for a special enrollment period. If you're losing benefits, moving, or new to Medicare, you may be eligible to enroll in a plan today.
That's a big difference, y'all. That's a big difference.
Things you should do. 1. Call the number on your screen. 2. Give the licensed insurance
I
agent
counted
your zip
to 3. Like I count how far up I want to start that transition in that seam. So I just counted 1, 2, 3. I just start counting, and wherever that number lands, that's what the number is. Like I know where I want it to be at. So 1, 2, 3. I just count up. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So and that way when I get to the other side, I'll count up from the seam 1, 2, 3. So I know where I want it to be, where I want it to end at. If that makes sense. I think the size 18 all the way down would have been perfect. Because this is, for every half inch, it's a seam. It's the difference in the seams. It's one size up. So if this is an inch and a half, that's literally 3 sizes, right? So I would have done at least probably an 18. This is a 20, 22, 18. Yeah, I would have done at least the 18. So I may do this again and test that theory out in another same type of fabric in the size 18 and just do it all the way down and see how that works. At least I've done all of the other measurements, like the shortening the waist and adding the extra hem to the length, which I probably really didn't need to add the extra length to the hem because I'm getting ready to cut a lot of it off because it's a little bit longer than what I really want it to be. All right, so Lynette, this is where I count up again. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I marked that. That's where I want to start. So just make sure I'm starting about the same on both sides. Keep reading and hearing that the pattern size may be 2 sizes from ready to wear, I guess in some cases. That was the norm, but right now it seems like the patterns are requesting or saying more, but then for me, I don't know if anybody else is having that issue. When I cut them out, and I follow the measurements, I make my fit adjustments and everything. Hey, Michelle, it seems to be big on me. Even like the pants, a lot of times, like it seems to be big. Like I still, y'all, I wore my jeans on Saturday, And I took a picture in my jeans. I just gotta post them, and I don't know why it's taking me forever to post. I did take a picture in them a couple of weeks ago, the night when I finished them. I just didn't like the picture, so I didn't show it. Um, all right, so and this is really where I don't know where my curve ruler is. Oh, there it is. See, this is where this kind of ruler comes in at. So since I'm transitioning from, so I really want to, see how it wiggle. All right, anyway, you get the idea. So I'll start from there and move on down to that. And then now I'm gonna go ahead and mark an inch and a half. And the fabric doesn't stretch, y'all. It's not a fabric that will stretch out of the way. I'm not going to even remove the belt. I'm just going to sew the belt right in to the difference. All right. So that's going from an inch to an inch and a half. Okay.
I had a hard time with my skin tight, but I sound like, am I too late? Should I go hard? Should I talk nice and spend lines of peace, speak mine? Cause I'm living in what we call life, and if it don't change, it ain't right. You don't cast from no inside, if you don't promise inside. I don't been there like 10 times, I got that from my paradise. Advanced it go with a roll of the dice. But the things I'm saying, I really want my life. I'ma be the part, kids, it's a wonderful life. I have bad mornings, and beautiful nights, but all those late night fights are giving my sights. Right now, I can do whatever. Cause I know I'ma get through the weather. Gotta shake my umbrella. And baby, fellas, things gon' get a whole lot better. Wanna be me, cause I ain't know where I stand. I was so ashamed to just be who I am. But I'm tired of being a boy, now I'm a man. Long as I got God to know that I can. You're beautiful too. Never can tell what you do till you do. Yeah, it's so true.
All right.
To the world, I've seen no one like you. So dance, you
One more spot.
sing, you can't sing.
Okay. Thank you all for the likes. Now I'm gonna do the other side because I measure up under the arm. The other side. It's a lot of dress to be working with. That's the only thing about a wrap dress. You got so much to be flopping around. So much stuff up here. All right. That's gonna be a sharp transition, so I gotta make it. It called for 2.5. Not even more than that. It was almost 3 yards of fabric. Yeah, it called for 2 3/4 yards of fabric. Okay. I'm gonna move up a little bit from where I've marked it because I don't want it to do a sharp transition. Make sure the underarm seam. Make sure that belt underneath. It's not underneath that one. Y'all, I did call my sewing machine guy about my machine. He's coming over Monday to take a listen at it and check that thumping, that clicking sound. I thought it was he had clicked my belt together, but when I looked at it, because I was going to order a new belt, a full belt, a whole belt, but when I went to look at it, it doesn't have a clamp on it, so I'm not sure why it's clicking. He said it sounds like something might be loose, and I told him I don't like when it clicks while I sew. So he's coming over to check it out on Monday, which I'm grateful. So I should be able to get that resolved, hopefully. I was listening to it in one of the other videos that I did. I don't like that clicking noise. All right. See how the that foot that I use, the velvet foot, well they call it a velvet foot, but it's really like a walking foot. But see how it evens up? There's no separation in the length, like it comes right at the same length. I mean, the hem evens up. Yeah, I did. I can't take that noise no more. I can't. It's too much and it's so loud. Like now the way it was before was much louder, but this is getting aggravating. It sounds like my machine falling apart, which I know it's not. All right, so this is the side that has the belt sewn on the inside. So I'm just gonna secure the belt so it don't get twisted up in there. All right, now I do want to make sure that the seam at the underarm is matched up. Yeah, I know. Does anybody else have like little perks or little things that they gotta make sure is done just right? I know some things probably won't matter because you don't want to be wearing it, but I'm like that. How much fabric did it? Okay, this is very interesting for me to see how you're taking your garment. Okay, yeah, glad you called it. I think you have quite a few more miles on her. Oh yeah, I do. Yeah, she's been around for a while. You said is that the round thingy? What's that? Oh yeah, this right here. Yeah. And see, the other night I was kind of pulling my fabric a little bit so to have a little bit of give or stretch. This I changed the length on my stitches. I was stitching on a 3.0, but I have it on 2.5. Plus with this foot right here, it makes the world of difference. I don't have to even change try to stretch it and pull it. The only thing that's still a little aggravating to me because I'm so used to sewing 5 stitches per minute is that this feels to me like a home machine. When they change the motor out, it feels like I'm stitching on a regular sewing machine. Now something feels lumpy up under there. To make sure I'm not. That's what I mean by weekly fabric.
I got 99 problems, 99 less. I never stress. This I took it all off my chest. If the water feels strong, I'ma swim like I might go. Then I'ma swim to the surface. They can't hold
Okay,
me
because I
down.
stitched that there.
Wake up in the morning, birds chirping. I'm saying amen like I'm in Sunday service. Yeah, no
Make sure. Yeah, that one turned out a little bit different. I think because up here I struggle with keeping it straight. All right. So I'm gonna cut that hem off anyway. But I'm still keeping my threads. All right, so I got that cut. Now I'm gonna put this back on and see how that fits. It can last a long time. I mean, think about some of the Singer sewing machines back in the day that people can use right now that they've refurbished and they're using. Because if you keep them up, they'll last. They workhorses. They'll last a long time. Remember when I changed my person foot midway? Yeah, because it was. I don't know why I didn't think about it from the beginning because of the type of fabric, but it really helped. So give me a second. I'm gonna try this again, and see how this works.
You self-employed or run a small business? Do you want an easy way to create professional invoices? Then Skynova is for you. Thousands of handymen, painters, cleaners, and more create invoices on Skynova. On skynova.com, you can make invoices.
Okay, so I think this is gonna be
Professional,
much better.
and all your invoices are organized and easily accessible. Skynova, easy but professional. Try it free at skynova.com.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna have to do something about that chest area because that's be popping loose. Can't be doing that. Hang on, y'all. I am gonna have to take in the outer layer where that belt tie is because it's too wide. But the rest of the dress, that's much better. I need to change the position. All right, y'all. All right, y'all. So you see, I still have to The only thing I need to do is turn this under 1.5 inches, and then that'll be perfect. Let's see. Let's go ahead and turn this under like this. Yeah, that's much better. Not gonna stay because I got a pen, but yeah, that's much better. Woo. Yeah. Oh my God, so much better, right? That, yeah, that's what I needed. All right, and so see, it's not as much under the arm, and it fits better in through here. And so once I just move that. Once I take 1.5 inches off of this, it's gonna lay just like it's supposed to. What? You ain't gonna be able to tell me that. You ain't gonna be able to tell me nothing. Much better, right? Much better. Alright. So now all I need to do is go in. So I am gonna put a snap here, or either yeah, I'm gonna put a snap right there. So probably next time what I may do, because I think it was Angela Whitaker that asked me about did I do anything to adjust the neckline because of it, the V-neck part. So this, altering this up here, bringing this over. So the changes that I did was, obviously you saw the other night, I brought the neckline over 1.5 inches in the front and the back, because otherwise it would have been way out like this. I didn't want it out like that. I wanted mine closer in like this, which I love it. But that doesn't adjust this. Cause see, that still opens up too much right there, like that. So I'm going to, like I normally do, I'll probably stabilize that area in the back either with a button, and then do a little hooking out right there. Sometimes I'll do a little thread loop and a little hook underneath here, and then let it hook. Or I can do a snap if this, but the snap has to be a strong, secure snap in order for it to stay. All right. Oh, thank you, Tawanda. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Miss Lynette. Y'all feel so much better because I was feeling a little defeated. I'm like, oh my goodness, how in the world does that happen? Like, this is still a little loose, but I don't want it skin tight. It's not as bad as it was. I think once I do this right here, that'll help with that. So that's good. Need to have a little bit of room. Don't need to be like skin tight. But yeah, once I hem it, it's gonna be just right. Let's see, right now, I gave the extra length so I can cut it off the length that I want without it being too short. But yeah. And so the other adjustment that I did was the back waist length. So you can see how it lays now. Otherwise I would have had a little bunching like that. But that worked out fine. I'm happy. I'm so happy. So much happy. Since I took this fabric out. Well, yeah, plastic snap, probably. They have the black ones. If it's plastic though, it has to be not a cheap one. You can get those cheap snaps and they don't work. They just barely just clamp together. But if I do a plastic, like I said, if I do a plastic, it has to be a really good one. But if not, then I'll do like I have the little, I have these. I have those, the metal ones. So they're small. I might just use this one. As a matter of fact, leave that out. You happy too? Thank you, Lynette. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's much, 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 much better. So once I get my uh, body shippers on and everything. Yes, and the length is just like I like it. Like I like my length, my sleeve length. I don't like my sleeve length here like this. I like to cover my wrist a little bit. I don't know why. So I always have. And yeah. So that turned out fine. Yay! All right, so give me a second, y'all. Another commercial break, and I'll be back at the machine. All right, y'all, gotta get myself out of it. Remember how I did it. All right, so we are almost there. Sticking myself. Okay. All right, y'all. That worked. And I'm so happy. I'm so happy. All right, so hey Stacy, how are you? Thank you. Girl, yeah, I need to shape her. You just told her funny. You just asked her funny. Girl, yeah. I got too much flub. Too much flub and too much flab. Yes, I need a shaper, girl. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what. I gotta smooth all this stuff. I gotta smooth all this out, girl. Hmm. All right. Okay, so I'll get in there and I just marked. I'm gonna put a pin, safety pin right here. Let me grab my safety pin. All right, so I'm marking, keeping my safety pins where my snaps need to go. That way I won't keep sticking myself. Y'all, I'm excited to get at least one of these dresses done. No, to Wanda. Y'all ain't lying. I got a flub, y'all. I'll be like Sherman off of what is the Nutty Professor? Let all that stuff go and everybody get hurt. Stuff starts flying everywhere. Y'all don't want to be around me when I start letting everything loose. Lynette say my next sewing machine will have the walking foot built in. I forgot what you call it, but that's what I want, even though I'm a beginner. Lynette, you're not no beginner. And I think you're talking about the differential feed. Thank you. I got my toys while I was working, so when I retired, I can have something to play with. Oh, okay. Y'all laughing? All right, so this is the part I need to. All right, so let me Something about me. All right, so I'm gonna turn this under an inch and a half, and that's gonna be perfect. Then I gotta have somewhere to wear it. Where am I wear it? Yeah. Oh, Lynette. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I said I was gonna do cups. See, I said I was gonna do cups, didn't I? Oh my god, I can still do cups because they're long enough to. I don't know. Do I want to do cups? Maybe I'll do cups on the next one. What y'all think? Maybe I'll do cups on the next one. Y'all said they let me sew my hems up on my sleeve. Y'all ain't said nothing. You think it's a faff? Okay. Yeah, y'all ain't said nothing. Y'all let me cut. Yep, y'all sat there and watched me sew the hems on my sleeves. Ain't said a word. I was just sewing them away. All right, so I think I'm gonna have to change. All right, so let me just go ahead and stop playing with this and measure this out. Where's my little thing at? Why y'all ain't tell me? Miss Leafy, I thought you was gonna put cuffs in there. Y'all probably thought I changed my mind, didn't you? I wasn't even thinking. The reason why let's see. The reason why I didn't pin it right here is because I don't know if you can see where it curves a little bit right there. So I'm just going to let that straighten itself out right there. I don't have to have a curve because that's on the top. You say, Leah, you say, you just made me laugh hard. You say finish this one, it's dramatic. You're right. You are right. This is traumatic. Why is it the easy stuff that's hard? Oh my goodness, I needed that laugh. Yeah, you. Leah, you funny. You right though, it's traumatic. I needed to finish this. That was too much. A whole. I took an inch and a half out. That means that was 6 inches, y'all. Do y'all realize that? Because that's an inch and a half on the top, inch and a half on the bottom, and on both sides. That's 6 whole inches that I had to take out this dress. The math don't add up. It don't add up to what it's supposed to be. Now that's why people who, especially newbies who sewing, they don't understand what the problem is. You know why their stuff not coming out right. Stuff like that make you question your sewing skills. You know, like I know how to sew and I know how to fit, but all right. I need to mark this a little bit darker. All right, so what I'm doing is just marking this so I can press it, and then I'm gonna take it to the sewing machine. Take it to the ironing board. All right, I'll be right back. Yeah, it'll change you. You're right. It can be discouraging. People won't suffer because they feel like they can't get it right. When they can't get it right, it's the patterns are already deceptive. So when people are showing their dresses and stuff, and they show the finished product, but they don't show the process, you don't know that they might have altered it 20 times. Took it in so many times until they got it right. Or they got a mannequin of their own body type, and so they can sit there and pin it up on them and just pin it all out and everything. But when you show you little scenes where it look like you just sewing it up and everything looks so easy and it fits the first time, that's not always true.
Hand down something valuable too. Like when you realize a recipe is just one gift you can give them. Ask, now what? Here's what. You get life insurance from Prudential and help protect your family like you protect a family recipe. Who's your rock? Ask your employer about Prudential benefits or speak to an advisor today.
That's why a lot of people like working with knits because they feel like knits are forgiving. So knits will conform to your body. All right, I'm coming, y'all. All right. All right. So I just pressed that all the way down. And see, this is what I was saying, how because there's a curve, I don't really need that curve shape right there because it's the top piece. So I'm just gonna cut that straight down. All right, so but yeah, and the instructions are always clear and the measurements are off. As a beginner, you're relying on this information to be clear, correct, and close to accurate. You're right. Yeah, I found mistakes in the pattern company too, Lynn. I'm like, oh, see, that's not right because, like you said, if a beginner gets it, or even like me, it's somebody who's sewn for some time, you look at something, you're like, wait, that don't seem right. You're relying on these companies to get it right. All right, so I'm going to leave about an inch so I can turn it under. I think I said these were done. So my eyeballs. See that my pens like magnets. So if anybody watching me, I'm eyeballing this. I'm balling about an inch. So when I stitch it up, it'll be about a half an inch. All right. So I'm just gonna turn this on. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna turn this on, but I need to pin this back. I really don't need. I'm gonna trim that surgeon off because it's just gonna be a little bit bulky with that extra stitching on there. I'm actually gonna fold this under this time. I'll go ahead and just base this on here. I got so much thread going on. All right. You're right, Tawana. That is why this song community is essential. Right, but you see how sometimes it can be frustrating for knowledgeable sewers, you know, such as myself. You know, I think I get frustrated because the way stuff's supposed to be and it's not. You know, I see why my daughter-in-law, she don't like sewing by patterns at all. She'd rather cut hers out from tracing the pants and stuff because she knows she'll know it's right then. All right, so I'm gonna start from the bottom and stitch my way up. I'm not gonna stretch it. Just gonna let it run. Let it run. Probably could have just cut a quarter of an inch. And then turn it under so it won't have to be so wide. But it's okay. So make sure I get that turned over. So make sure I got that folded in there right. All right, so I think I did something different last time. I think I was supposed to stitch that first. Well, I'm gonna undo that right there because I don't like the way that looked. I think I stitched it down here first and then turned it under. Oh, y'all can't see what I'm doing, can you? Joanna said I sewed up some satin lounging pajamas. S9 635. Followed the measurements for me, and according to the pattern, there was quite a bit of ease when they came out of the side. I can imagine. I can imagine, Tawanda. Oh my goodness. What'd you do? What'd you do with them? Did you make adjustments to make them fit, or did they become waters? What'd you do? All right. What did I do the last time? Maybe I didn't sew it on there at the same time. I sewed on last. I just sewed on my last. I like the way I did it last time. They still on the mannequin. Oh my goodness. Cute little display, huh? Well, you gotta keep your mannequin covered. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Tawanda said it's still on the mannequin. Oh my goodness, that's funny. All right. All right, so yeah, I think we're gonna leave that. We're gonna leave the cuffs off this time. I don't know. I might, maybe I can make some detachable cuffs. I don't know. Yo, these were supposed to be 2 casual dresses. There's nothing casual about these dresses, are there? Okay, so now I cut the serging off, so I'm gonna go back and serge the end of that again. You need to remake it the way I thought my size was. Okay, and of course they are pinned to the outside of Claire. No, they pinned to the outside. That is too funny. I like your mannequin name is Claire. Okay. And you're blessed. And you're blessed. I'm blessed. And you're blessed. All right, so where? Is that it right there? Okay. All right, so I'm going to stitch this. All right, I'm going to stitch that down just like that. Yeah, that looks more professional that way. All right. Okay.
My life is like a movie screen playing in front of my face, so I can visualize where I made all my mistakes. I want to reverse whatever
All
it
right.
takes.
So finally, got the belt on there. Got it back. All right. So got it back on there. So we're doing good right there. All right. All right, Lynette. All right, Lynette. Thank you for popping in and hanging out with us. All right, so what I'm going to do is now I got to restitch the button on and restitch the button. Oh, actually, I gotta cut all of that excess out that I sewed up. I need to check the pattern review on this to see how. Here we go, cutting in the air again. All right. To get this done, it'll be almost a wrap. Yeah, you know my serger is acting crazy. So yes, I would love to be able to serge the excess. But you know, it's catching or something. It's like the knife is dull. So it keeps chewing up my fabric and stopping. So it may just be time for another serger. Oh, that's what the belt is. I'm like, why is that? I felt like I was cutting fabric. I mean, more fabric than what I should be cutting. Yeah, I'm gonna see if he'll take a look at it. He'll probably tell me, just girl, you better just get you another serger. All right. Yeah, it chews up my fabric, and I don't know why. looks like the knife is dull, but I just changed this knife and the one underneath it. So it's like it's getting hung up right in here somewhere. Oh, you know what? Maybe. Oh, never mind. That's me. So right there, it'll stop and it'll start chewing up. Every single scissors has a magnet attached to it. Yeah, I don't know what's making it do that. What's doing it, but I may just I'm gonna serge enough right here to get my snaps and stuff on, and the rest of it I'll finish up. I don't like the way that's looking. I may just end up going to get me a, let's see if I went down far enough. I don't think I did. Let me just end up going to get me another serger. All right, so I gotta figure out the distance. Gotta go from the bottom. Okay, so should be sewing a button on right here. When I did that the last time, it seemed like it was up a little bit too high. Okay, that's about right. We take it, okay. Oh, that's not something else. All right, so let me fuse another piece of interfacing on here so I can sew the button on. This time I've got it on right. I'll be back. All right, so this will be moving towards the back. So I'm gonna sew the button again to the top. Give me some more black thread. I don't know what I'll do with that needle. I'll use this one. All right, so Tawanda, what are you working on now? What's on your sewing machine now? I was hit and miss. I'm trying not to put my fingers in my mouth. Okay. All right. Put that shank on there again. Music went off. Had to get me some music. Oh my goodness. Did you say that the other day? Was that you that said you had the same thing that Ayana and her family did? Somebody, oh no, that was Demetra. Oh, goodness, everybody's doing the COVID thing. I think that was Demetra that was saying that she was dealing with COVID. She and her husband and her mother. So you too, huh? Goodness. I'll pray you get well fast. Yeah, I've got lots of whips that I need to finish up, and I didn't get to do my whip that week that we were doing whips. I think my uncle's homegoing. My uncle passed, and so we had a homegoing. So the only thing I could do was finish up my jeans that I started. So I hope that's in the right place. It looked like it was. So now I need to, so I'm gonna add another piece of elastic here. Yeah, you did say that the other day, because I remember thinking that y'all just got back from your vacation, and you said you were sick. Uh-oh, do y'all think y'all got it while y'all were away? I need to do a little bit longer than that. All right. Wait, you said, am I reading that right? You said maybe your hubby did and his girlfriend? And so his girlfriend. Wait. And so his girlfriend and you were negative. Your husband got a girlfriend? I mean, I'm not here to judge nobody. Your son. Ooh, child. I was like, wait. She talking about her husband girlfriend. On live. She don't even care. Ooh. I was trying to check my eyes to see if I saw that right. I was like, wait. Girlfriend. All right, so got that in. I may just try to pick up me a serger tomorrow because that's gonna bother me. All right, so now got it back in. You listen. I mean, I know people do some stuff, and I mean, look. I mind my own business. I'm stay over here. You know, I'm like, well, she don't care. She said I mean, I felt like it just rolled off your tongue. Like my husband got it, but me and his girlfriend tested negative. I was like, okay, girl. Yep. All right, so let me sew this little snap on here. I still got to figure out what I'm gonna do about this. I think I'm not going to even attempt it with the serger. If the serger's not acting right, then what I'm gonna do is do a little bias binding right along here, but then I would need to open this up. So I'm gonna leave that alone for now. I could just throw my little name tag over there like that. I'm gonna leave that alone for right now. You can't listen to Wanda. I don't be questioning unless you tell me. You know, I ain't gonna get into it. I'm just, hey, Different strokes for different folks. That's between you and the good Lord. I ain't heard the Lord tell me say nothing. Yeah, I'm asleep on this one. Yeah, I'm asleep on this one. So let me just go ahead and sew these little snaps on, and then the most of it's done, and then I'm gonna take my chalk marker and so there's the male and the female part of the snaps. You too old school. I know that's right. I'm old school too. Mm-mm. We don't get down like that over here. All right. So I don't have nails no more, so I got to dig this out. All right. So since I had to dig it out, we know that's a good snap. Good snap. But there's the male part and the female part, right? So obviously, and it's male and female for a reason. So the male part has the little protruding piece, and then the female part has the any piece. So that's for somebody who might not know that. All right, so I'm going to make a little mark. Where's my little chalk marker? Y'all see what I mean? No, there it is. Okay. Okay. That's the chalk marker right there. All right, and then let me do this on this side. Mark that. So I know what that is. All right. Run this through my wax again. Make sure that's secure there. So the female part usually goes on the top, like it's the under part. Like I'm sorry, the female part is the part that you would snap into, so it will go onto the generally for us, like our tops for women, our tops fasten from right to left. So this any part, the female part, would rest on the left side. It would be more visible, whereas the male part or the outie part would rest on the part that you don't see. It will snap over. I hope that just made sense. I like to go in them once or twice, at least twice. Then I'll go in the back and secure it. Exactly. Yes, that part. That's the best way to describe it. Female part goes closer to the skin. That's a good way to look at it. All right. Hmm. So I got that in. So you can see that. And then I obviously can't stick this to the outside of this because that will show on the outside. So I have to make this clean. Mhm. And hopefully I have left myself enough to finish off this part. Y'all, did y'all get a chance to read my bio on Anne Lowe? I learned some things about her I didn't know. Like we always hear the story about how she made Jackie Kennedy's wedding gown and how it got destroyed in a flood and then she had to make it over again in 10 days. We heard that story. But all of her other stuff, y'all, they're talking about some tea. Just knowing about her life, her dropping out of school at 14 years old, her taking over her mother's shop at 16 when her mama died, being married. You know, she said she was married twice, and her first husband, she left her first husband because he didn't want her to be in business. So she left him, but she had a child by the first husband, and then she got married again. The second husband said he couldn't put up with her jumping in and out of bed. She'd go to sketch. She'd hop out of bed. You know, every time she get an idea for a sketch, I guess she would get up and then she would go sketch. And so he couldn't compete, I guess, with what she was doing. So he left her, and so she had the child, but she adopted a little girl. But she moved her and her son to New York, and you have the book on audio. Oh, the book is on audio. Say it ain't so. Ooh, I'm gonna get it. Say it ain't so. You shouldn't have told me that. I gotta get it now. So, but yeah, so he, she moved her and her son to New York so that she could go study at this school, this design school in New York, and it was a 4-year design school. But and you probably heard this story, Tawanda. But it was a 4-year design school. But she was so smart, and the thing about it, it was a segregated school. So of course she couldn't learn in the same setting that the white kids did. She had her own little area that she had to study in. But she was so smart and she was great at what she did. Like the teachers would take her work and show it to the white students and use her work as an example. And so she was so good at what she did because her grandmother taught her how to sew. And yeah, I use Audible too. Good stuff. So her mother taught her how to sew. So, and this is a running theme amongst these black sewers and stuff like that in this era. But but she was so advanced and skilled at what she did that it took her only half the time to get her degree. So instead of 4 years, she came out in 2 years. And so when she got her degree, she moved her and her son back down to Florida. Now she started out in Alabama. She was born in Alabama, Clayton, Alabama. But her mother and her sister shop, they had a dress a dressmaking shop where they sewed for people. And this is, I think, where she got that love for it. And so that's the shop that she took over. And so they would sew for like high society folks, like the best of the best in Montgomery. And so, but anyway, she left there and went to New York. She left New York and went to Florida, and she opened up a shop in Florida, and she did the same thing. She was sew for the elite in Florida, and she did that until she raised about $20,000, and she moved back to New York. And there, I don't know if it doesn't say whether she made it or not in Florida, whether she lost the shop, didn't do good, but it just says that she raised when she made earned about $20,000. She moved back to New York, but I guess that's where she wanted to be. But she was contracted out by the higher end stores like uh, Henry Bendel, Henry, something like that. All of the big name stores, she was contracted out by them. But the sad thing is, like, we don't hear the story where she actually made Olivia de Havilland's gown for her Academy Award when she won the Academy Award for the Best Actress for um, what was the movie? To Each His Own. That was the name of it. But she said she designed it for Sona something, one of these other designers, but she didn't get credit for it, right? So I guess she got tired of not getting credit for the work that she did. So she opened up her own shop in New York. And when she did that, she became really popular, really famous because her gowns were gorgeous. Like she would use the best of fabrics. Her techniques was different. And so it started to start to catch wind, and people started learning about her. And so she was sold for nothing but the best, like the high society folks, the rich and wealthy. She wasn't sold for, like in her words, for Mary and Esther and them. She sold for him. She said she was like a snob, but I guess she knew her clientele, and so she wouldn't sell for anybody less. But the sad part is that she wasn't charging enough. Like these wealthy people, they would talk her out of, they would downprice her, you know, and so she wouldn't get her worth, and so she had to pay the people that were working for her. By the time she got paid, she wasn't making nothing, right? So she ended up not paying her taxes. I don't know if the IRS closed her down or she shut it down. You know, Tawana says it was my aunt and lady in the neighborhood. It was my aunt and the lady in the neighborhood. When I got to middle school, we could take classes. I took classes all the way through high school. My senior year, I was the assistant to the sewing teacher. See, that was kind of my story, Tawanda. It was my mother that made all of our clothes growing up. And so I would sit there and watch her. Some of y'all might have heard me tell my story about how um, I would take the scraps of her fabric and make my Barbie doll. Well, she wasn't Barbie doll. She was a Tiffany doll. She was a black doll. Where everybody else was playing with Barbie, I was playing with Tiffany. And so I would make her clothes. And unlike you, I went to a 2-week singer sewing class when I was about 9 years old. I was supposed to be 12, but I was 10. I was very tall for my age. So from then on, I took courses in middle school, but by the time I got to middle school in home economics, I was so far advanced that me and another girl, we were very advanced. And so we were kind of like the teacher's help. Like we won all kind of home economic awards and stuff. So you need a book one day, one day. But you know what? I feel like my story is like these ladies' stories. Like I did the Black fashion history on Willie OTK. Her story was kind of the same. Like her mother taught her how to sew, and her taught her sisters how to sew. So when her husband died, she used her sewing skills to start a business so she can make money to take care of her family and stuff. Hmm. Why you need me?
That's what you do.
Okay. So her mother taught them how to sew, but they all came together and they ran their business, and she was very popular. She sold for the wealthy, you know, but she sold for blacks and whites, and Low did too, but I'm sure they were wealthy. Like one lady, she was like some opera lady or something, but all of them had to be of some importance in society. Um, but so did Willie OTK. So back in the Jim Crow era, she's growing up, and all of these people, politicians and business folks, they got wind of her, and those were her clients. And so I'm the same way. Like my clients, I have like my clients are like old money clients, people in the that are doing things in the community. You know, like the mayor's wives, the mayor's mothers, mayor's daughters, judges. You know, stuff like that. So I feel like I glean from all of them. It's almost it feels like a pattern almost. So I'm very intrigued by the stories that I'm reading. Even Elizabeth Keckley, Clecky or Keckley, I can't remember Keckley. Anyway, her story is amazing. Like she was born into slavery, and she paid her way out of slavery. To me, that's amazing. Like her father was her mother's slave owner. Like it was their slave owner, but he was her father. But she was passed around from family to family. Like she was passed over to his son. The son didn't like her because he knew she was the daddy's illegitimate child. And so he would abuse her and stuff. And I think he allowed one of his slave owner friends to take advantage of her, you know what I mean? And so she ended up having a child by this man. And so, but he ended up sending her back to the daddy, to the original slave owner with the mama. And the daddy gave her and her mama and her child to his daughter as a gift. And, but the daughter and her husband wasn't doing so well. They weren't doing well at all financially. So the daughter wanted to use the mother and rent her out as a slave to other people, so for money. But the daughter, not Anne, but Elizabeth knew that the mama was too feeble and too weak to try to do anything. So she begged the woman to let her try to make money. And so she used her sewing skills and she said, let me just try this and see. And so she did. She started making dresses for the wealthy, for the rich folks and stuff like that. And she was good at it. And they were all having her design their dresses and stuff. So the only thing is that when she made money, the money didn't go to her. It went to the home, it went to the slave owners, her masters and stuff. And so, excuse me, but she wanted to get out of slavery. So she was trying to think of a way to do it. But um, word got out to her clients. Like these were like white folks. They got wind that she wanted to buy her freedom. So what they did was put up the money for her, and that was odd in itself, right? You got these rich white folks. They want to put up money so you can buy your freedom. So they put up the money for her, and because the lady told her she needed like, um, I think it was $1,200 at that time. But in our day, I think it was like what, $20,000 or whatnot, something to that nature. I can't remember the exact amount. But anyway, they gave her the money. But what she did was when she left there, she moved to a whole different state. And wherever she was, she started doing the same thing. And she started sewing for the rich and the wealthy and stuff. And she made enough money to pay those people back for what they paid to get her out of slavery. And so she paid her way out of slavery. But I would say that all that to say this, that her clients were rich and wealthy folks too. So it just seemed like a pattern, it seemed like a pattern of what has happened, it's happening now. And I can only imagine that down the line, that's where if I look back past my great grandfather, who was a tailor here in my city. He was the only black tailor that was here doing business. And so now I'm following suit and doing what he did. It's just all of the history is amazing to me. But anyway, y'all can read more about Anne Lowe, Elizabeth Keckley. Keckley, I think that's her name. Um, Let me see. I did one on Willie Smith too. His story was kind of interesting. He wasn't as far back as those ladies were, but he struggled in business, because I'm sure he didn't get the full recognition of who he was, and he had his woes and stuff like that, and he was successful for a good little while until he passed away. But then after he passed away, his business tanked. But all of these you can read about. Either Google them or you can read more about them on my bio on my Instagram page. All right, I'm gonna try this on one more time and see how this looks, because I want to go ahead and try to hem it. I might have still put that button up too high. But we'll see. Okay, I'll turn you around here. Make sure it's turned. Yep. All right. Now this is so much better. Yep, that little snap worked perfect right there. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna do my dance. Do my dance. Yay! Hey, Lady Nick, how art thou? Elizabeth Keckley. That's it. She's on Audible too. Yeah, somebody told me she had a book, and was it Elizabeth Keckley? Yeah, it's the one. Um, she's the one that ended up in Washington D.C. and made the gown for Abraham Lincoln's wife, Mary Todd. And so her story was kind of it was kind of terrible because she worked so hard to get where she was, and to she found favor with these people to get her in business and everything. Even when she moved to Virginia, um, well, she moved from Virginia to D.C., but the people that she was sewing for in Virginia found favor with her and helped her connect with people in D.C., people that they knew. And she opened up shop there, and she was so good that she had to hire 20 people to help her. Um, but then they were talking about starting a civil war, trying to, I guess, it all had to do with slavery. And so while other folks were running and stuff, other black folks was leaving town and everything, she said, no, I'm going to stay right here. I'm just going to tough it out. And so she did, and that's how she ended up connecting when Lincoln took office. Mary Todd needed somebody to sew her dresses and design and create for her. And so somebody told her about um, Elizabeth Keckley. And so she ended up designing and sewing for her. She became her confidant. And they did because she Mary Todd had lost a child, and she had lost her child. Her child died in fighting in the war, and so they had lots to talk about. So she became her confidant, and she trusted her, confided in her. But when Lincoln died, um, it left Mary Todd with very little money, and so she decided to sell some of her clothes and things. And so people got upset because I guess it's like that now. Everything that pertaining to White House and stuff like that is historical value. So she was selling it to try to take care of herself. And so word got around and people shunned her and everything and started giving her a bad name. So Elizabeth Keckley thought she'd write a memoir or something to try to write, to tell the truth and stuff like that and tell what was going on. And so I guess the white folks thought that she was bad mouthing her or whatever it was, it backfired. It didn't work the way Elizabeth Keckley thought it was going to work. And so now the people that were her clients were starting to turn on her and they would no longer support her, no longer support her business. So she went out of business. But she ended up being named, being asked to be the dean, I think, of sewing, home economics basically is what it was, of this school until until she died. So yeah, interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. All right, so yeah, I got to get both of those books. But yeah, it Tawanda so much better, right? I mean, all of this in here, an inch. There's 6 whole inches out of that. All right, so now what I've got to do is find my chalk marker. Got to figure out what I did with it. All right, where's my chalk marker? All right, so if I can't find, oh, here it is. All right, so push this back. Thanks to Wanda, I appreciate it. All right, so I think this was my length from last time. Gotta make sure everything's where it's supposed to be. So I'm just gonna start here. I hope I have enough. Oops. This thing right here. I hope it's taken. Well, it's a hot mess. Let's see. Uh-oh. I'm gonna have to start all over. I'm sure it's all out of whack now. Yeah, I'm gonna have to wipe that off and start all over. Plus, I think it's done. I don't think it took all over everywhere. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and call it quits. And I'm gonna hem it off screen and pin it. But yeah, so I'm happy with that part, and then the fixing this part in here is the last thing that I have to do, but everything else is done. As far as the cuffs, I think I'm gonna leave the cuffs alone on this one, and I'll try the cuffs on another piece, on another one. All right. Yep, one down, and I got one more to go. But anyway, thank y'all for hanging out with me. Make sure you like this, tag it, share it, and comment. Don't forget to comment. If you haven't commented, let me know how you like it. Let me know what you thought. Next up, it's going to be this one right here. So this is out of the this is another knit. So I can't wait to get into that. All right. Thank y'all for hanging out, and I will talk to y'all later.